Hi, I'm Mike Bush. I want to acknowledge Commissioner Peter Marshall and his leadership over the last 3 years.
We're not perfect. We do make mistakes.
Peter's set the bar extremely high. One of the reasons our results are so good is because of the high levels of public trust and confidence.
Back. Right, so looking at this further, it seems that there's no point calling the IPCA about this because this is the police that have made this decision. Now, right at the top of the corner, and I'll give you a screenshot of this, when it says the phone number, it says 09309975. Anybody who lives in New Zealand knows that phone number, excluding the 09 or the STD in front, it must have 7 numbers, as by the fax number says 3754661. 7 numbers. I don't know if it's a deliberate attempt or a typo, but it certainly makes it difficult to call them back. Looking at Auckland, now this is from Auckland Central Police Station, corner of Cook and Vincent Street. So I'm guessing it's Central Auckland, so of course I googled Auckland Central Police Station. All the other phone numbers around there seem to go 302. And then, so that's the prefix of the number. So I'm going to take a wild stab at the dark and guess that 309975 is supposed to be 3029975, or possibly even 3039975. Either way, we'll see if I get any result. No. Let's try 303.
There is no one available to take your call at the moment, so please leave a message after the tone.
Yes, well, I'm not sure if I have the right number. My name is Mark. If you could contact me back, please, I just have some questions. Thank you. I'll leave it as blank as possible. I don't want to tell them what it's about, especially considering it goes straight through to an answering machine, and that was 3039975. We'll see what happens. Hey everybody, well, it's been a couple of days. I called 3039975 and left a message. Done a bit of research. Wakeland is actually Tony Wakeland.
Welcome to Tony Wakeland. Inspector Tony Wakeland has joined the PPDVP team at Police National Headquarters as the relieving program officer while Inspector Soni Malalau is in Afghanistan. Tony has 22 years policing service and has experience in management, administration, and operational policing. As the program officer, he plays a supporting role to the program manager. Tony is responsible for the regional component of the PPDVP program and is managing networks amongst Pacific countries to progress domestic violence issues. He also has a specific focus on developing regional training, legislation focusing on domestic violence, and maintaining a close liaison with the various New Zealand police in-country mentors. During his career, Tony has worked in variety of roles and locations throughout New Zealand, and also in the Solomon Islands with Ramsey. He has been officer in charge, O/C, of the Criminal Investigation Branch, CIB, O/C Armed Offenders Squad, AOS, and O/C of Tiki Police, which is a rural station in the Eastern Bay of Plenty. Tony has wide investigative experience in criminal inquiries and has managed many major crime investigations. I'm looking forward to working with a team of dedicated staff in New Zealand and within the overseas agencies who are passionate about tackling the problem of domestic violence in the Pacific. Working in Tiki, I saw firsthand the devastation that domestic violence can cause. We made some great inroads into changing attitudes towards domestic violence in Tiki, and I am keen to use this experience to help develop programs that will benefit police staff and the Pacific community. Tony Wakeland. August 10, 2009.
So, He's had 22 years in 2009, so I guess he's had 29 years of experience in the police force. So what's confusing me is why he's saying in one sentence that if requested by a member of the public that the constable should be able to give me the identity, but yet in the next paragraph he says to me that I'm not entitled to it. So I just want some clarification. They have answered my other questions, whether or not the guy got spoken to and all of that was dealt with, but I'm still uncertain as to why there's a discrepancy between the station he said he was from and Mount Wellington saying he's not, and why Tony seems to think upon request there's no entitlement. Let's see.
There is no one available to take your call at the moment, so please leave a message after the tone.
Yes, well, I'm trying to get a hold of Mr. Tony Wakelin. If you could call me back, please. Should I not get a response, I will quite happily pop down to the station and try and get a hold of you personally. Thank you. Hey, 390600.
Welcome to the Waitemata Police. If you have an emergency happening now, hang up and dial 111. Otherwise, please choose one of the following options. If you know the extension number you wish to be transferred to, please press 1. If you are calling regarding someone who may be detained by police, press 2. If you require advice and general information, you can refer to the New Zealand Police website at www.police.govt.nz. Otherwise, to speak to the operator, press 0 or continue to hold the line. You are being transferred. Please hold the line.
Waitemata Police, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. My name's Mark. Who am I speaking with?
You're speaking with the Waitemata District Internal District Operator. How may we help you?
Oh, that's an impressive name.
It is. It just get several different people in any one ring, so you never get one person.
I've always been told by my parents to know the name of who I'm speaking to, which is why I asked. But that's all right. Not to worry.
How can we help you, sir?
I contacted the media centre for the police. I've been trying to ascertain the identity and station and supervisor of a particular officer that obstructed a member of the public a few months ago on video. I've had no luck thus far for almost 4 weeks now to try and ascertain who this gentleman is, or I don't even care what his name is. It's basically where his supervisor is and what station he's from. The media have instructed me to call you guys, which is the local police station. I'm over in Muriwai. Now, what happened was I've tried to find out who he is. I've ended up having to file an IPCA complaint, and I've got a response back. And in the response, Tony Wakelin from Auckland Central had said that upon request, a member of the public, an officer, should be able to identify himself. And then in the next paragraph he tells me I'm not entitled to know. So what I don't get is, how am I supposed to put the request in? Do I have to file an Official Information Act request? How do I find out? Because on the videotape of this officer, he identified himself as CP89 from Mount Wellington Police Station. So I contacted Mount Wellington Police Station and I spoke to a Senior Sergeant Steve Samuels there, and he informs me that that officer is not from that station. So straight away I've got a conflict there, where I'm going to the station he identified himself from. They're saying he's not from here and they won't give me the information as to where he's from.
Okay.
Do you see what I mean? It's
the normal time a person would give a police officer giving to a member of the public their name or their identification would be if they are dealing direct with them, not as an indirect inquiry.
So it has to be actually at the time in the course of their duty.
Well, normally, my understanding is of that.
So how would a member of public get on if they saw some sort of misconduct from an officer and they wanted to make sure that they'd spoken to the supervisor to make sure it was corrected because they've lost faith in the IPCA? How do you go about that? Because
the difficulty is that the officers get deployed in different areas. So, say for instance you're in the Muriwai area, so that covers Henderson, New Lynn,
sure,
but a North Shore, Orewa,
sure, different districts.
Yeah, officer may go to an event. They may also have to get deployed into town.
Okay.
So it may not necessarily be that place where that person works, that they may be dealing with an incident or
Sure.
occurrence that's happened. So often going from district to district, the person may not necessarily know who that officer is.
Okay.
I mean, we don't.
But I mean, I would have thought that if an officer identified himself from a particular station and then I contact that station and they say, not us.
Well, just CP89 doesn't give even me the...
I know, you need 6 digits.
Well, I need basically more
Yeah.
letters.
Yeah, you need his initials first before the number. I understand how that all works.
That's right.
Which is why
I mean,
I found it strange that he would identify himself with just 4 digits and from a station that apparently he's not from.
Yeah, it seems a little bit unusual because normally they would give...
I mean, it was on videotape, it's on YouTube, it had been there, posted on the 19th of May and I saw it in July. And it seems...
If it's been identified as far as something on YouTube, hence why it may have been abbreviated.
No, well that was his collar number, that's what he uttered to the cameraman. So it's not a matter of abbreviation, that's how he identified himself, and so he's either given false information if the station says he's not from here. So you can see my problem, how can an officer give false information and get away with that?
I'm not
no, you're not at the position to speak.
I'm the telephonist, so I'm not able to assist you in that way whatsoever.
So the normal process to find out the identity of an officer would be what?
Well, normally it's done to the police investigation unit that's available to members of the public, which is a police complaints authority.
Which
they
is
investigate or look into it. So
which is what I did.
That and had no success. So
Well, I did. You know, here's the thing. I mean, I'll just give you a very quick rundown. I'll try not to take too much of your time. The cameraman in question was filming an incident. The officer obstructed him, pushed him around the corner, threatened him with arrest, told him he needed permission to film a person in public on a sidewalk, which is totally wrong. He ignored his orders to stand down over his RT that you can hear going on in the background. He went over and above. And my point was the fact that I'm trying to find out information and I can't get it. I'm finding obstruction in every way. The senior sergeant from Mount Wellington has just told me not from here, and I'm saying, well, then perhaps you could tell me where he is from. You know, I'm just trying to be nice and ask him because I don't want this officer to cause a problem where there's another $14,000 payout because someone claims assault charges because the officer chose to stop him. You know what I mean?
may I ask, what's your connection with it?
My connection is I'm a member of the public, I'm a ratepayer, and I want to make sure that the public, you know, servants, I get what I pay for. And if I was out there filming police, which I have done hundreds of times in public, if he had come up to me and he would have got a law lecture like you would not believe. And
the only other option really would be to put everything in writing.
Which I've done.
Okay.
And I've sent it to the IPCA, and like I say, the IPCA, the Inspector Tony Wakelin from the police who was dealing with the matter, got back to me and he told me all about how it's been reconciled between the photographer and the New Zealand police. That's not my issue. I don't care what happened between the photographer and the police. My issue is that I'm trying to find out what should be publicly accessible information, and I'm getting stonewalled for over a month.
So you would be best to go back through that channel and say, your question hasn't been answered.
Yeah, well, here's
Are
the...
re-requesting that.
Oh, hey, you can help me out here, because on the police letterhead, New Zealand Police, whatever it says here, Auckland Central Police Station, corners Cook and Vincent Street, private bag, blah blah blah. Phone number, fax number, it says 3754661. Phone number, it says 309975. Do you see the issue? There's only 6 digits on a New Zealand Police letterhead for a contact phone number. So
Sorry, what is it, 3?
it says 309975. That's the 6 digits that are under the phone number. Now that's really hard to call them up if it's only 6 digits long.
Oh, not necessarily, sir, because some telephone numbers are that have been haven't been updated or upgraded. If
Really?
It's an old telephone number.
Wow, so if I tried dialing 309975 it might work.
I can't say it will or not. I do know that there are several telephone numbers, and a lot of them are in the 5 series.
Really?
That are only 6 digits.
Oh, I honestly did not even think to try dialing just the 6 digits. I just thought perhaps it's 302, 303. You know, they'd missed a digit because of it, you know...
309 is Auckland Central.
Yeah, well, 302 is as well.
Central area, yeah.
Yeah, 302, 303. And when I dialed 303-9975, I just get an answering machine, so I don't know if that's him or not.
A lot of them now these days you put 09 in front of, so...
Oh yeah, well I'm calling from Auckland, so...
Going that way. Even within Auckland, sir, it depends on the phone system that you're going through.
Wow, I did not know this.
I'm really unable to assist you.
No, that's all right. You've been more than helpful. Thank you. That I
It
did.
would be best to put everything again in writing and go, your request hasn't been answered specifically.
Yeah, well, I'd just like to explain how he believes I'm not entitled to when I've put in writing the requirement or the request for that information.
You need to then ask him, why aren't you entitled, or, you know...
Well, what excludes me from any other member of public to be entitled to know a public servant's identity? At the end of the day.
Go back to the writer.
Yeah, well that's what I'm trying to do. So, and if no luck, go to the Ombudsman or go and see my local MP, old Mr. John Key.
Well, exactly.
I don't think that's going to get me any good.
I find it unusual that, as I said, normally the Police Complaints Authority, you know, handle everything. They write everything for you and give you the answers, but...
Yeah, but I mean, he did say that the matter's been reconciled, you know, the original matter, and that's all good, and then the officer's been spoken to and been re-educated, which is cool. It's, as long as he doesn't do that again to another person, that's fine. But at the same end of the day, the whole cloak and daggerness and how hard it's been just to ascertain where the guy's from. Because I don't even want to speak to him, I just want to make sure that his supervisor was aware and that it's been sorted.
Well, you've been told that
it's
been sorted.
Yeah, but now I'm left with this other conundrum.
He may not even be in the same place.
Yeah, which is, you know, if he'd moved, then just say he's moved to another station. Problem solved. But leaving an unanswered question can really silence his acquiescence in a way, you know. If they don't answer me, I'm going to...
Probably is your question has been answered, and if you're not specifically personally involved,
that's what he said.
No further information that you would require.
So just go wandering and bump into the guy and get his information that way.
Well, again, as I said,
because that'd be right, eh? You can walk up to any policeman on the side of the road and ask him for his identity, and he's obliged to identify himself.
Well, it would depend it's in the context as to you might be dealing with something with that person, but in the essence of just approaching a police officer and saying, I want your badge number, they probably would say, well, I'm sorry, but I don't, you know, have to give it to you because
but
it's
they
not
do.
to anything.
But they do. It's in legislation that they do have to identify themselves upon request.
And
so
that's right, but they would be dealing with something under that circumstances, sir.
Bumping into me on the side of the street and asking them their name.
Yeah.
There is no matter or circumstance, it's just me, a member of the public, asking for the public servant's identity. It's the same as asking for a waitress's name. There's no difference. So, but anyway, it's been great talking to you. Thank you so much for your help.
Okay then, bye-bye.
Have a good day. Wow. So yes, my question's been answered. Yes, I'm being semantic and I'm being pedantic and I'm being an argumentative cunt. But hey, Argue means to clarify, and them not answering my question as to who he's from or where he's from, he's hiding behind that thin blue line that all of those lovely little bastards like to hide behind. He knows he did something wrong. They don't want to admit it. They don't want to say what station he's from, because who knows, someone like me might go wandering in with the camera to make sure that they're re-educated. But as far as Tony said, they've been re-educated. The fact that I can't get a hold of Tony, let's give that number a try. 309975. That's the number she said. It may still work if it's 6 digits. Okay, let's test. Okay. Yes, in the old days there used to just be 5 numbers, and yes, depending on the district and location, there may be 6 or 7 numbers in smaller towns. But in Auckland, 7 numbers right across the board. If you're in, Helensville, you may have to put the area code 09 or something in it first. But if I'm calling the central city, 7 digits. So that just goes to show she's, I'll take her advice that she said, oh, that's interesting, I didn't even know you could do that. I'll take anything as with a grain of salt, and then I'll test it to check its validity. So as far as 6 digits, she's full of shit. I ain't going to let it lie, because as far as I'm concerned, if the New Zealand Police are going to send out letterheads with contact numbers that only have 6 digits long, they need to get that sorted. So just for that matter alone, because I like to be an argumentative fucking arsehole, ask the wife, then I'm going to make sure that at least gets sorted. Because now there's, along with issues to get their identity and issues to get the the correct station where he's from, and issues as to why I'm not entitled to know because I wasn't directly involved in the incident. Sorry, doesn't cut mustard for me. Anyway, see you later.
One of the reasons our results are so good is because of the high levels of public trust and confidence